Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Network Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell it, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stocks Number Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell. Okay, I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please secure. Hey everyone, welcome to Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Ron, my partner is Dave. Thanks for joining. It is Wednesday, July 2nd. And to all our Canadians out there, happy Canada Day yesterday. Hopefully you guys had a good time with your family and friends and you guys celebrated. Canada is a very young country, 158 years old. Pretty young still. So that was fun yesterday. And today what we're going to do is we're going to get into the markets. We're gonna just go over the news quickly, and then we're gonna do a little top-down analysis on gold, Nasdaq, and US 30. And we look forward to tomorrow's big news. And just a reminder for Friday that markets will be closed for July the 4th in the USA. Okay, so let's just go through news, and then we'll get to the charts. And I hope everyone's having a great day and ready to hit these charts with me. So we're going to get just started with the news today. There was news coming out of Europe if you did trade the European session. And then we moved into this. This was a red folder at 8:15 a.m. Eastern today. It was the ADP non-farm employment change. And you guys can see the number there. It's negative 33,000 from their forecast of almost 100,000. So there is some articles, news related stories you can read if you don't understand what this means. This negative 33%, negative 33,000. Right over here, if we click on this folder right here, we can see that the ADP US National Employment Report, private sector employment lost 33,000 jobs in the month of June. So it's always the prior month. Annual pay was up 4.4%. And then if you want to read a little bit about it, you can also click on this and read the full story. But the private sector employment shed 33,000 jobs in June, and annual pay was up 4.4% year over year. According to the June ADP National Employment Report, produced by ADP Research in collaboration with the Stanford Digital Economy, the ADP National Employment Report is an independent measure and high-frequency view of the private sector labor market based on actual payroll data of more than 25 million U.S. employees. So you can see right here, it badly missed their expectations for a 100,000 increase. So that was what the forecast was for that 99,000. It was to add 100,000 jobs to the private sector, and it was actually very, very badly missed and disappointing that it came out negative 33%. So this might give us a little kind of forward forecast into NFP later this week, but jobs are down and they're not creating much in the private and public sector over here. Okay, so when we go back, just looking at if we're going to encounter any news today, you can see crude oil inventories were also released, 3.8 million from the forecast of negative 3.5 million. So if you do trade crude oil, make sure, please guys, you guys are watching the inventories and things like that. And so that's what we got for news today. Tomorrow is a big day. Tomorrow, again, it picks up in Europe over here. Right when London market opens up, you can see that there's consecutive folders like back to back. They're released 230, 315, 345, 350, 355, 430. So when you have multiple folders, you could have a little bit of choppy trading. It could be a little volatile. There are a lot of them are low impact folders, but still when you have consecutive low impact folders, it could cause a little bit of choppy trading. So just trade careful if you're going to trade in Europe tomorrow. Then we move into what the whole market is waiting for this entire week prior to the US bank holiday. So Thursday, normally the first Friday of every month, we have our non-farm employment change, NFP. but it's moved one day ahead because on Friday, U.S. banks are closed. Okay, so 8:30. Just keep in mind, right over here, we'll have our average hourly earnings. We'll have our non-farm employment change, and we'll also have our employment rate. And you can see that they are already forecasting not the greatest numbers. Average hourly earnings from the previous NFP is slightly in the forecast is going down to 0.3%. The non-farm employment change is slightly down from the 139,000 the last month. Now they're forecasting 111,000, so that's a decrease in job creation. And also the unemployment claim percent right here from 4.2 forecasting to 4.3, so that's an increase of 0.1% on the unemployment. So the forecast doesn't look very good, but we'll see what the actual numbers are when they're released tomorrow at 8:30. And just to reiterate that there will be a lot of volatility at this time, so please trade careful, use appropriate risk while you're trading this, and understand that there could be some swings in the market. If you don't feel comfortable trading right away when they release the news, just wait 15 minutes, wait 30 minutes, wait, and once everything is released, digested in the markets, once the market stabilized, then you can continue trading, okay? And then we also go through Wall Street, and then we have at 10 a.m. our US ISM services PMI report red folder as well, okay? And then that's what we have for tomorrow, and Friday will also come early in the markets for maybe a 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. session, just prior to Wall Street. There is no Wall Street tomorrow. You can see right here, all day USD bank holiday for Friday, the July 4th. And but we can still trade some forex prior to that and maybe wrap it up, and everyone can enjoy their long weekend right after that. Okay, guys, so that's the news for the rest of this week. Earnings, not much going on. This morning there was Universe Corporation after hours today, Franklin Covey, Zenvia, and Natuzzi. Not much going on. I don't think that these corporations are going to really move the S&P or NASDAQ or Dow. And then we don't have anything Thursday before the open. We have NFP. And then Thursday after hours, nothing. And then Friday, again, U.S. banks are closed. We have nothing. So earnings this week, very, very light. Nothing going on. Right now with Yahoo Finance, what's going on? Gold holds ground as investors await the U.S. jobs data. Okay, and so that's tomorrow, what we just talked about. Apple, Google, and Tesla are holding the S&P 500 rally back. Lululemon lawsuit against Costco highlights the rise of fashion dupes. So if you didn't hear this, Costco, I guess, has some knockoff like Lululemon track pants and athletic wear. And now Lululemon has got a lawsuit suing Costco for that. If you're a Costco shareholder, you might want to just keep an eye on what goes on with that lawsuit. Carney, right here, Prime Minister of Canada, to meet with the automotive sector CEOs as U.S. trade talks continue with Canada and the U.S. NVIDIA reclaimed market value pole position in June. So NVIDIA is trading at all-time highs right now. It's up almost 3% right now. So you can't sleep on NVIDIA. It's a powerful corporation and could continue to appreciate into the future. So NVIDIA is a sound security. And if you guys bought the dips when it dipped down less sub $100, congratulations. AMD was another big one that some of you guys got and you're holding, so congrats on that as well. US dollar to stay under pressure from tariff, debt, and rate cut expectations. Constellation Brands, they make cerveza, the Corona beer. How Trump immigration policy hurt sales. Ford recalls more than 200,000 vehicles over malfunctions. So that's what we got. And in the ADP, what we just talked about, job loss numbers could be a precursor to June jobs report that we have tomorrow. Okay, so that's what's going on in the news right now. S&P is up 0.25%. Dow is down negative 0.14. NASDAQ is the winner today, up almost 1%. and gold is just very, very break even, very steady right now, negative 0.04. So we'll see. We'll get into gold as well, okay? And Discord, guys, we'll keep an eye if we get any signals sent out to us. Commodities, the gold moved, was running, but came back down to break even, as well with the indices were running and came back down to break even. So we'll keep an eye on these. And for everyone on YouTube, there is a free Telegram channel pinned at the top of the channel for you guys. It shows everything that we do here and any promotions we have at SST. This was Dave in the Snipers this morning, doing a really, really good job, looking for that buy right out of there, and got that big bullish candle. So congratulations, guys. And if you want to join the team, you're welcome to join the team, stocksnipertrading.com, and plans are available there. And we also have a free blog available for everybody. There is members only blogs, and then the rest are all free for the entire community, for everybody, okay? So let's get into it. Let's start off with the charts, and we're going to get started with gold, okay? We're going to start off on the daily, and then we're going to bring it down daily, hourly, and then down to the 5 minutes, okay? So most of you guys are very familiar with this daily chart pattern right now. If you are doing your top-down analysis, you will get familiar with this. So that was our all-time high. We hit 3,500 on April 22, and you can see that since then, it's been making a lower high, a lower high, a lower high, and today a lower high. So it is technically trending down the last couple weeks, but overall we are on a very bullish uptrend if we look on the higher time frames. So if we go to the monthly and we even go further out, okay? And then this is our range right now from when we hit the all-time high 3,500. We had that big pullback right there to 3,120, and it continued to move off of here where we're making a higher low, and we're in this consolidation right now where buyers and sellers of gold are accumulating. Okay, and we do have zones that we also identified and spotted on here. Right over here, this is where we kind of figured out this quick little zone right here. And when you stretch it into the future, you can see how it came up 2 times and created a double top with volume closing below. Also, you have a retest in there that got rejected, okay? And if we stretch this zone back into the future, you can see early June, we came and we traded in here again, impulsively, no volume really closed in there, and then they pushed it back down, and we revisited it a 3rd time, June 13 on the Friday, but over the weekend, they brought it right back down, and since then you can see that we are pushing with lower lows and lower highs since then. We can stretch this red box into the future. We may revisit it this week with NFP, maybe also next week, okay? And do we have a similar support area or demand area that we can establish? Right there was a nice bullish flag off of this 3-day uptrend, and it started to consolidate. That was one bullish zone that we identified, and we stretched it into the future, and you can see when it came on that bearish leg down, it traded right in that green box, took us back up to the double top, back down. We actually, the sellers did break it and close it below, and that's what pushed us down to that the lowest point right there, and it started to consolidate and barcode where it was bearish, bullish, and then we retested it, but notice on the bottom depth of market, it is making higher lows, a bullish ignited candle, a higher low, and from this low point, and the volume continued to push right back up to the red zone. So if we stretch this, you can see it almost came down into that green box again at the end of May 29. It also came very close last Friday, and also the start of this week on Monday. We still have not traded in this green box since then, and you can see from here we've been making a new higher high and kind of consolidating. So are we going to move back into this red box tomorrow with NFP, or are they going to sell it back down into here? Right now we're still consolidating in this rather large range, but we'll see if we can break out, maybe test the all-time high, or if it will break down, we're going to revisit these areas, okay? Now what we can do is start to break our individual days down. So we can see Friday was a big push down, but it recovered rather nicely this week. Monday we came down, it came right back up. You see where it closed? Right around 50% of that bearish candle. So that's a point of interest we can add on our charts for this week right there. I'm going to place a yellow line. So exactly where we closed on Monday, and look at how we opened on Tuesday. A bullish ignited candle with zero drawdown, and it filled the previous, and we also pushed for a new high, taking out last Thursday's high, got rejected. But look at the volume kind of engulfing a lot of these bars, okay? So we got a good move up yesterday, and then today, look at how small our range is today. So it's just a small spin top or doji candle. We can identify some key points on today's move. So this is where we closed yesterday. This is where we opened today. It was initially bearish when we came down. That's our low of the day. There's our purple line on gold right there, purple line. I can see what it is over here. 3,327, and it continued to push up to the opening price, and the candle flipped bullish where it made its high of the day, and it is lower than yesterday's high, and it is lower than this high, and it's lower than here. So it still technically has lower highs above us. Like if we were to attach a trend line, you can still see that it is descending down, okay? And then when we hit the high of the day, it came all the way right back down right here, where it is relatively close to the opening price, still with some bullish volume in it, okay? So if we continue to push up, maybe we'll come back to our high of the day. If we can break out, we need to acknowledge yesterday's high just as a point of interest to see if we can come back up there and maybe break for a new high, or maybe it will be a lower high up here, maybe it will be a tweezer top equal high up there, and if it breaks, maybe we'll continue to revisit the opening of this body right here on Tuesday, June 24. Okay, so that's could be for more upside momentum where we could go. Also, if the sellers come back to the opening price and start to flip the candle bearish, we could fill our low wick, and then if it does push down, we could start to trade into this big bullish candle. So one thing that I want to identify on this big bullish candle is where 50% of it is, or maybe where there is a zone. And one way of figuring that out is just grab your Fibonacci tool from the opening to the closing of that body, and there's exactly the 0.5, 3,320, a nice whole number. I can place a yellow line right there at the 50%. What I could also do is, if I want to figure out that bullish zone, just in case it trades inside there, not exactly right at 50%, but maybe it hits the top of the zone, that could be 3,325. 3,320 is the exact 50% midpoint, and then the lower point is 3,316. So I give myself a zone and not just a point of interest, okay? And we'll see if the buyers can still maintain this and hold it up, okay? So you can see how the structure now is building, and overall pattern, it is still building, okay? But maybe we'll see if we can break out of here and trade back in this red box. But we might need to use tomorrow's data to get trade up here or trade down here with the NFP, okay? So now what we can do is start to break down this daily candle down to the hourly. It doesn't have much volume, considering how much volume we had to start the week on Monday, Tuesday, and then this is where we are on Wednesday. Okay, so it's in a tough range. It is kind of still consolidating. You do have buyers buying a little bit. There's some sellers. There's some buyers. There's some sellers. There's some buyers and sellers. So it's moving sideways, but we can still maybe identify some points of interest on the hourly. One would be somewhere like right around here. See, when this came down, it went back up, came back down, went back up. So somewhere like right around maybe in this area, if you can kind of maybe, you know, just place a line where you think it's the most accurate area to place it. I'm placing more at this body, that body, that body, that body, and this hour that just came down at 10 a.m. right now is still respecting. Again, look at that number, 3,333. We've been talking about this number quite a bit because it is a point of interest for gold. And now what we can see is, do we have like a resistance point or on the hourly? I would assume right here, 8 a.m. is a big open for gold. That's when we hit our high of the day. That was also with COMEX market open and any 8:30 news. And then you see 9 a.m. So following that wick. It got rejected at the high of the day, and then it continued with that momentum, opening bearish, ignited at 9 a.m. Wall Street's candle, and came all the way down, created that low, and closed right there. 10 a.m. we came down bearish right there, still coming right back up, closing like right around above 50%. And now we're kind of coming right back down. So we are literally barcoding right now. Bearish, bullish, bearish. It's in a really, really tight zone right now. If you want to kind of consolidate this hourly area right here, you're more than welcome to do that. That's what I just kind of consolidated that block right there of that bearish volume, that bullish volume, the bearish volume. So it's still trading in this tight little zone right here. And then on the hourly, do we have 1 point up here? So when we came up here yesterday, again, COMEX, that's when we were rejected right there. And so I'm going to place a red zone up there just in case gold comes back up to this area. It could be a double top. There was the big top where it came up and it pivoted back down. It came up today, but that's the highest point and has not came up in there. So that's a lower high, and they are technically pushing it down. Now this hourly candle just came down to that point of interest, yellow line, and it's flipping right now. We have a lot of time still left on it, 41 minutes to go. So it could definitely break out of here impulsively, come back and retest this area right here. So I'm going to place a white line right there to let us know if it does break out from right where we are right now, 343, to get up to there. It's about 346, 47. I would say about a 30, 40 pip zone to come up to that white line, and then we can maybe fill back to the high of the day and see what happens up there, okay? We could also watch and see if volume will close above here and continue to move back up. But right now, it looks like buyers are, from the low of the day, are pushing it back up. They got rejected back down, but they are coming back up with higher lows. They haven't created any new higher highs yet, so maybe it could be an impulse break. Maybe we do get some building momentum to come back up and test up here. But on the hourly, it looks like last 2 hours, buyers are strong. Now, if we bring it into the 5 minutes, this is what we got going on the 5 minutes. I can see that there was a big bullish candle at 8:15. That was that ADP release at 8:15. Very bullish. It was very bad and weak on the US dollar, those results. They were expecting 100,000. They actually decreased by negative 33,000 jobs. So you can see gold pushed up. Then we have COMEX market open. It came back down. We hit the high of the day right there at 850, and since then pushing back down, but we are slowly, choppy, making our way back up. But you see impulse, 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 impulse. We don't have any 5-minute volume closing above this key hourly area yet, but we are building. Like that last 5-minute candle came down to that daily point of interest yellow line and right back up. So we'll see if it can build. Maybe we might have an impulse breakout, or we can wait to see if buyers can close it up here with some type of volume, okay? Because right now we do have, I would say, like this zone on the 5 minutes is acting as resistance right here. And we do have maybe a good zone of support right over here on the 5 minutes, located at these hourly areas. Okay, and then this could be where we're just consolidating inside here. So let's watch this just for a few minutes, see what happens here, and then we'll introduce NASDAQ and US 30 also to the charts. What we can do is also add our daily indicator bar. So this is where we opened. That was the lowest point. It came back up to the highest point. We're getting rejected, and you can still see that it is got some bullish volume that's being represented right here. So we'll see if we can get it above here, maybe push a little higher, or will the sellers absorb this bullish volume, and then we might continue to push back down and break this support, come down, maybe have a double bottom down at that area, 3333, or they even push it down, test the low of the day, okay? So right now, it's still just consolidating. And we can also add a 9 EMA, this green line, we're right below it right now, and our 200 EMA. So I always say when your 9 and your 200 are kind of close together, you could get some choppy price action, accumulation or consolidation. So maybe we got to wait for maybe it to build, or maybe the 9 to start to diverge away from the 200. Maybe if we get more volume closing above the 9, we can maybe start to see that we might break this resistance and continue to push back up. Okay. Is there any questions, guys, on Zoom about gold? And thanks everyone for joining. I appreciate you guys. Welcome. Alex, thanks for joining. Back for round 2. Thank you for joining. Dale, welcome. Samuel, thank you. Lady Stone, Omar, welcome, guys. Sean, thanks for joining. Samuel, welcome. Welcome, guys. Chef Mode, welcome. Is anyone in a trade in gold right now? Is anyone trying in a buy, or is anyone selling right now? Samuel, long oil and gold. Nice. Let's see if maybe they can continue to move up to the upside, okay? Okay, so this 5-minute candle is going to close in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. So we're still just kind of consolidating inside here. Let's see if it can continue to build. But we've got a little bit of a push down. Since it traded in that red zone up there, right when we started the call, 11:05, we do have a lower high, and a lower high. So they're pushing it right back down. Let's see if it can get down to maybe that 200 EMA down there. See if it can find some support. How are you guys feeling about tomorrow's NFP? Are you guys prepared for it? Do you guys have a good solid trading plan going into it, or are we just gonna throw everything out the window and we're gambling tomorrow? What's full margin always? Yeah, I hope not, Alex. Yeah, full port tomorrow. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Get rich or die trying. Yeah, no, that's not what we want to do here. Okay, guys? If you need to, just get it out of your system one day. Deposit $5 in an account and just go all in. Just see what it feels like and just get it out of your system. Yeah. No, you guys got to trade smart, okay? Anytime there's big folders, trade smart, okay? We don't gamble here. Okay, so sellers are pushing it down, okay? We're coming right back down. Ignited bar pushing down. Again, it's just trading in here. You know, how big of a range is this from like the top of the green box to right there? It's a 40 to 50 pip range, okay? So it's not a small range, but you can see it's coming up right up to here, and then it came right back down. Okay, so let's just continue to watch, see, will it build a little bit more? Will buyers build it down in here, or will sellers continue to push this thing down? Okay, we can definitely trade inside here if you like, or we wait for some type of reaction to happen above the red zone, or we wait for some type of reaction to happen below the green zone. I'm just waiting on the sidelines myself. And then we'll also do, we'll also take a look at US 30 and NASDAQ as well, okay? We'll leave these two kind of side by side. We'll leave the indices together, and then we'll leave gold just by itself here. But we'll just watch gold. We're going into 11:30 in about 3.5 more minutes. So let's just watch gold as we move into the new half hour. And then we'll do some analysis on US 30 and NASDAQ as well. We do have some news over here that just came out about 10-15 minutes ago. Vietnam opens market for American cars. The U.S. is to significantly cut tariffs for several Vietnamese products. Okay, so Trump is discussing with the Vietnam leader. And Vietnam leader Lam invites Trump to visit Vietnam. Okay, so it came down again. Buyers are interested, buying it right back up. We're going to close in 2.5 minutes. We're going to start another bullish leg going into 11:30. And thanks to those that are joining on YouTube. We appreciate you guys as well. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like and subscribe to the channel, that does help us out. Okay, so we got 2 more minutes to go on this candle. Okay, so it broke, it came down, pretty much equal to that low at 11:15, and it's coming up with some nice bullish volume. Let's watch the close of this and going into the new 30-minute candle at 11:30. So is this going to be a bullish engulfing candle that will engulf that entire 5-minute bearish bar that just preceded this candle? Are we going to get rejected and come back down? Can we maybe build off of this candle going into 11:30? Relative to how high will it close to the wick? Will we get a pullback entry? Will it be ignited and just kind of break out of here? Lots of questions, but we'll get better understanding when the candle closes in 1 minute and 10 seconds. Okay, so 30 seconds to go. So far, it looks like it's engulfing. Okay, if I kind of get the little cut line, that's kind of representing maybe where 50% of it is. I'll move it relative to when it closes. So we're looking around 3,341 if there is a pullback into about 50% of it. So get ready, guys. Check out your spreads and everything if you're going to look to take any trades. Okay, so it did technically engulf that previous candle. Short wick, opening ignited. Okay, so it could definitely just break and come up to here. But remember, we do have multi-rejections here. And this is a new 30-minute candle opening in the market. Okay. Okay, so remember, if you do take a buy, it could come right back, trade up into this red box and possibly get rejected. So just giving you just how this candle opened. If it trades up there, you're looking at 10 pips, maybe to fill that previous wick, 17, and then we go 20 pips to possibly break out of here, okay? I haven't taken a buy yet. I'm still waiting because it's still kind of in the zone. Maybe if I could get like a pullback buy down here, close to this red line, maybe see if it holds. It's coming down now. Anywhere kind of inside here, like a little bit above, a little bit below, you know, like right there. Okay, so it opened. It was initially ignited. It filled that wick. It did come up and lower high. They're pushing it right back down. So let's see if it can kind of come down into here, maybe catch a few pending orders and then flip. Maybe we can buy our way coming right through this red zone, or you can definitely wait for more confirmations. Okay, so that's kind of like if I place a trend line from the top wicks, that's what we got going on right now. Okay, so we got this kind of spin top candle, just kind of consolidating in here, still respecting this descending trend line of these highs, coming down, holding at the 9 EMA, still building at 50% of this candle. Now we got some bullish volume coming back up. So this could be the one that breaks that trend line and travels right into that red zone. I may look to take one position, and then if everything kind of closes, I'm going to go in right now, and then I may add a second position if everything is confirmed. So this is initial position one, smaller position, testing out to see if we can kind of break through here. And then if I do get that higher high, get volume closing above, then maybe I'll enter in a second position, okay? So I am in a buy. I'm gonna place my stop loss below those wicks right in there, more into like 50% of that green zone in case it comes back in this consolidated area. And I could be looking for a target back up to that hourly resistance up here to 3,347 maybe, okay? So I'm in a current buy. I just entered. Gonna see how strong this 1130 volume is. And also looking to take maybe a second position if everything can move up here, close above, maybe retest this as a green zone and start to continue to push up. I might look for a second position, okay? And then this could be where it's flagging right now. So that could be a little flag position right here. And we'll just watch this for a couple minutes and then we'll get right back into check out NASDAQ and US 30 as well. Okay, so we've got less than a minute to go. So let's see if we can close with some volume, maybe above this descending trend line we got, maybe build off of that a little bit. Okay, so last 30 seconds to go, 20 seconds to go into it. Let's see how we can close. We got this kind of indecision candle, spin top, 50-50. It came down, it went back up, coming back down. Maybe the volume will close virtually right where we open this candle. It's got a little bit of maybe like 60-40 with some bullish volume delta. Let's see if we can continue to maybe build again off of this and maybe try to break out of this trend. Even if it's an impulse, we need an impulse break to come through here, and then we can judge where it can close after, but hopefully we can get maybe just kind of a bullish impulse to maybe create some new highs in the market. We are building from the bottom. Oh, see, I don't have Bookmap right now. I'm not using Bookmap. Just strictly looking at the candlesticks. Yeah, Ricardo, you just got here. I'm in a gold buy, yeah. You can jump in if you want. But still, I don't have confirmations, right? I'm entering early into the trade. Kind of like a feeler trade, feeling everything out. If everything gets above there and closes above, then I can enter in another confirmed trade. But it's a beautiful candle. It opened, ignited, pushing, filled the wick. But let's see, we've got 1 wick, 2 wicks, 3, 4, 5 behind us over here, all in that red zone. So let's see maybe if we can push with this. Like I said, an ignited candle or an impulse candle is what we want in this situation. Even if it impulsively pushes through here, maybe we'll create some new highs and maybe might close with a little bit of volume up here. But so far it got rejected again, coming back down. We still have our ignited open and the candle body still has a little bit of bullish volume. It was an inverted hammer, still building. Let's see if it can come back up to the high and push for a little higher. Okay, so we got to wait for it to close. We still have 2.5 more minutes to go. So it is coming through here, but remember, we got this big red block here. We've attempted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times in there. So maybe we'll see what this 6th candle can do coming in there. But again, even slowly, if we can just create a higher high, and close with some positive volume, maybe we can build again. Maybe it pulls back into 50% of this candle and continues to go up. But this one is moving rather nicely. But remember, we got a test right here where my dotted line is at the 3,343.25. That would at least create this point to be a higher high from there. And then these wicks are not too far off of that. But again, we came in the red zone and it got rejected back out. So there is a lot of selling pressure up here, right around 3,343. So one thing that I don't want is to lose my bullish body. You see that sharp rejection, and then now the sellers, yeah, like right there, how we kind of lost our opening ignited bar. You see how quickly it flashed like a pin bar and then spiked bullish again, but we lost that strong open. Okay, even if it's just by a tiny little bit, that kind of changes up the depth of market. But good response by the buyers, coming back up, filling. Now we got to go into the last 50 seconds. So you can see the battle now between the buyers and the sellers at this location where we've got it red. There's a lot of selling pressure coming down, buyers bringing it back up. Again, this might close as an indecision candle with a little bit of bullish volume. In the last 30 seconds will tell the direction of the entire candle, who has momentum going into the next bar. Again, look at the sellers, how sharp they rejected it back down. Okay, and buyers are filling it back up, still in this consolidated flag area. So we're having a difficult time breaking above here. Now, where will the volume close? Here's the close. So we kind of closed right here at our previous high. Okay, wasn't the close that I wanted. And then sellers, again, gain momentum, bringing it back down. So they might test in here, that green zone that we haven't came into yet. Okay, so I'm not going in with a confirmation buy, my second attempt. This is just kind of my feeler trade in here, and I'm still not convinced that buyers are strong. Sellers are still in the market, and they are strong. Okay, but now you see we traded now deep into that kind of, just that 50% area of that bullish ignited candle, bullish engulfing, sorry, at 1125. So we're retracing right back into it, and we're going to see if the buyers are still strong in here. It can turn inverted. If this bearish candle closes below it, it will be inverted to a red zone, and then sellers could still push it back down. So far it looks like it's an M top, double top, one top, neckline somewhere in here. Okay, we came up, kind of lower high, and then M, so we're pushing down. There's the bigger neckline. We'll see if it breaks. You got the 200 EMA. We still have 50% of the daily range of the candle. Will it pick up some buyers there and come back up, or will it come trade into here? And that's where my stop loss is, guys. I'm not gonna hold onto this trade any longer. If it does break this green zone, then you could have that bigger drop down to there, and that's an unnecessary risk. You don't need to hold on to. Which ones do you guys want to start off with? NASDAQ or US 30 on our next charts? Which one do you guys prefer to do first? US 30? Okay. I think that's what I have. Yeah, US 30, we'll do it first, and then we'll get NASDAQ. So we'll start off with US 30 in just a second. Let's just watch how this body will close and where it will close. We have 2 more minutes to go. So you see it was really bearish to get started. Came all the way down there. We broke our green zone, came down. Buyers are bringing it right back up. Where will we close? That's going to be critical. It's still respecting these bodies down here, where you got the body, the neckline. That's a higher low. Continue to push back up. And then very similar, every single candle, we got to watch who has momentum going into the close. The buyers, the sellers. Will they close it? Will sellers close it below this green zone? Will buyers bring it up and close it above the green zone? Will the next momentum candle continue with whatever direction this kind of bar closes with? Again, we'll figure it out in less than 1 minute. And also the last 30 seconds really shows the momentum. So here's the last 30 seconds, and we're also going to walk into a new 15-minute candle as well. Okay, so we had a nice uptrend. Maybe it's pulling back a little bit. Maybe we can continue with the 15-minute uptrend. Maybe this is just a short pullback to the sell side. Alex, have a good day. Nice, you got 1% this morning. Congratulations, that's perfect. Okay, here's the close. Okay, so we closed relative right at that green box. So we should maybe see a bullish candle. We don't. We see a bearish ignited candle. See how it opened? Bearish coming down. So in order to continue to break down, it's got to fill that prior wick. And it is a rather large wick. So maybe we can see some buyers step in and create a higher low from not allowing this thing to continue to come all the way down and create maybe a new lower low. Maybe we can see some buyers step in, push this thing up, but it opened very ignited, okay? And this is a new 15-minute candle too. So we gotta give respect to the higher time frame candles. This new 15-minute candle opened very bearish, so definitely could take that out. And we see what type of reaction maybe we'll get at this 200 EMA right here, the purple line, or what we'll get at these tweezer bottom lows. We got a good rejection right there. Okay, so it did come down to the previous low wick. It looks to be like a technical equal low or a higher low just by a hair, and buyers brought it right back up. So again, if we can get more bullish volume staying above this green zone, then these just look like they came down, they hit some pending orders and flipped the candle back up. But more importantly, we need blue volume to close relative to this red zone so we can break this red zone and then really move bullish, because all sellers have their stops in this range where we're trying to buy into. So we haven't created a new higher high or a nice bullish close above here. If we do, we could definitely cause a little bit of a short squeeze and grab these pips going through here. So this is a good answer by the buyers. Okay, they are holding that position. We're right back in that consolidated flag again. It sucks. I know it's not the greatest time to be trading gold in the afternoon, but you got to get used to this. This could be NASDAQ trading like this, could be US 30, it could be gold trading like this in the early mornings as well. We're just caught in a little bit of a range where it's going up, it's going down, going up, going down, going up, but both sides are building. I'm hoping that it's going to be the bulls, the buyers of gold are accumulating more than the sellers. Excuse me. But it's going to be how it closes. But you guys understand, like, if you like these sellers, maybe their stops are above here, above there, maybe like right here at this hourly resistance in the market. So if we can get up there, we could maybe cause a little bit of a squeeze to hit those pending orders. But we need follow through. We've talked about this, I believe, last week. Follow through on candles. Like it showed a lot of strength when the buyers flipped this candle and brought it right back up, because this was, remember, an ignited bearish candle coming all the way down. Buyers showed strength flipping it, but it's how it closes. Okay, so can we close strong in the next 90 seconds with this volume closing above here, and then maybe we can build off of that in our next bar. But it's going to come down to the close, follow through. Sellers might be right there and follow through and push it right back down, and then again we got a failed bullish candle again. So it's all about follow through. Okay, and then last 30 seconds. I promise you guys I will get to US 30 in just a moment, but gold is just at such a critical level. We have to watch this. And then when we go to US 30, whether the trade is wherever it is, just please manage it. I'll be managing the trade myself, but you guys just watch some key levels as well. I'll also maybe place an alert up here if it does get up here, to alert me if it does get up there while I'm on US 30 doing some analysis. Just let me know that it is breaking that high up there. Okay, so you see who had the follow through on this candle? Sellers. The last little bit, they closed it down. You got a bullish spin top, but technically the volume is still above this green box. So it came down, but it went back up, closing there. It came down and closed above it. We're opening ignited bullish again. So the buyers are there early on when candle bars open up. You can tell by bullish ignited, but follow through. So this candle could definitely maybe break and fill some of these wicks, but it's going to be where it closes, okay? Because I wouldn't be surprised if sellers pushed it right back down. I can see it right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there, again, possibly here again. So it's going to be interesting how they close this. Okay, so I'm going to go over to US 30 quickly, and then we'll get this one out of the way fast, so then we can come back to gold, and then we'll do NASDAQ in just a moment, okay? So just some quick daily analysis on US 30. NASDAQ and S&P already broke all-time highs. US 30 is kind of like a little snail behind, hasn't caught up yet, but almost, okay? So those were our double top all-time high. We're almost trading in there. We've got good supporting zones. We've been identifying this zone for a long time on US 30. And you can see that we've already filled kind of the range, coming back up. Gold is pushing, guys, okay? So gold is getting right back up there, filling those wicks. But again, It's how it closes, okay? It's how it closes. So again, sharp rejection. Holy shit. Those sellers are tough up there. Okay, and sometimes when you get in trades and there's multi rejections and you're still in it and you're hovering around a break even, if you don't like the setup, you can close it out and wait for it to close above, or maybe you see the sellers are strong, then you can flip and have a seller's bias. That's something that intraday traders and scalpers do tend to do. You don't got to get married to a trade. I can see right there, it came up really strong again with that bullish ignited open, and they rejected it hard back down. So just something like that might give me the indication that the buyers are trying, but how much more do they have left in them? Do I want to still stay in this trade? Do I want to still, or do I want to just close it out with possibly like close to a break even or a minimal drawdown and look for another setup? That shows maturity in traders that can do that. Okay, you don't have to, but I'm just saying in the future, when you do get in trades like that, if you do have, like here, the sellers are telling me how strong they are up there, I'm in a buy. But that's all, again, you can utilize that when you're trading, switch your bias and things like that. If not, you continue to watch what's going on, but you got to follow through for bars to close. If you're not over leveraging or you're not risking too much, you can allow trades to develop without panicking while you're in the trades, okay? So again, sharp rejection. Now it's a shooting star candle coming down. If the sellers can close it below here, it has a high probability it's going to have another leg coming all the way down, maybe down into the green zone, and that's where my stop loss is. Because that's it. The sellers are showing me how strong they are. They could definitely break that and drop it down even further. I don't want to stay in that trade any longer if that's the case. Okay. So just finishing off US 30 here, some points of interest right here. This was a big point on the daily. Where we came in here, it went back down. Came in right here, back down. Impulsively broke above it, back down. Here we have closing volume, little 3-bar play, and continuing to drive right back up. Do we have other points of interest? I would say right around here, right here, where there was a wick, 50% of that bearish candle, and coming down right there. And that could be support now at 43,800, okay? So now, like going off of maybe our most recent, yesterday's nice body of bullish volume, can we maybe identify where like 50% of that candle is? Okay, and we're going into noon very, very soon here. Okay, so when I'm looking right here, grab my Fibonacci tool from that opening volume to the closing volume. There's 0.5 of yesterday's volume right there. Okay, can I figure out maybe a little bit of a bullish zone right there? Okay, and I can see today's daily low almost came in there. Okay, we had a shitty close on gold. Okay, so it closed below there. Now that zone is inverted red. So it held up at this red zone. Now, like I said, the follow through were sellers right there. It could definitely start to come back down. Sellers could push it down to that 200 EMA. That would be a first line of support to see if it holds there, or the point of interest yellow line right there at 3,338, and ultimately in this green box where my stop loss is. Okay, so can the buyers continue to build this thing back up? But they got a lot of work to do, because now they're below this red zone and they failed up there. So sellers are in complete control here and could definitely bring it back down and get stopped out here. Okay, just finishing off on gold over here. So we kind of dissected yesterday's candle. We have a point of interest where we closed yesterday and where we opened today, and it was initially bullish, where we hit the high of the day up there, right? And you see how it's located kind of right at the bottom of our all-time high supply. Okay, so right there, purple line at the high of the day. We got rejected. It came back down to where we opened. We made a low of the day. It's really close to the top of 50% of yesterday's candle. You can increase it now right there if you like. And then you see the buyers were there and they pushed it right back up to where we're virtually right back where we opened. So will we see US 30 flip this afternoon and fill back to the high of the day and maybe possibly trade in the red zone? If you look where we could go in the red zone, again, look at structure on all of these daily candles when we were trading in here. Maybe pick the best location possible. You know, you're not going to have a perfect location, but just try and grab something. And if it does come in there, right there, we got a body, bodies, that rejection wick right there. So if we do come back up to our high of the day, 690, maybe we can break up to there to 790, 100 pips to come up there, okay? But we have a daily spin top. Maybe we're consolidating in this flag for a few days. We have NFP tomorrow. Maybe we'll see it continue to break out, okay? So with this daily candle now, what I can do is I can go into the hourly. I got to go a little faster because we're getting into noon right here. So we got a new hourly candle opening up. Hourly is moving up, higher high, trending up, a higher low pullback, new higher high. That was strong yesterday at 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. And we've retraced back down here at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Kind of hit our low of the day at 10 a.m. and maybe we're going to start to push back up. Can this hourly volume close above that daily point of interest yellow line? Can we push to the high of the day, or are sellers rejecting it back down and maybe we'll get another leg pushing back down? Is there any hourly points of interest that we can look at? Maybe right here, just recently, where we had 9 a.m. Wall Street push down, closed right there. 10 a.m. open, came back down. We got the volume above this white line. And that retest just on this hour is still above here. So it is currently building, but we still have this bearish momentum coming down. On the 5 minutes on US 30, this was this bearish leg that came down, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs. Big push down right there at 9:30. That's Wall Street, and we came back up. So if I was just looking at 50% of Wall Street's 5-minute candle, I would be looking right there. We hit the low of the day around 10:15, and we came back up, closed, pushing down. So we are slowly kind of pushing up with this trend right here. We'll see how much it can continue to hold, and we've got kind of this move also parallel channel going back up too, okay? So we might be coming back down to the bottom of the channel. Maybe we might find a little support down in here on the 5 minutes for US 30. We'll see if that zone can hold if we get down there, okay? So let's just add our daily bar indicator and also acknowledge another point of interest on the 5 minutes right here. This key point, 44,645 when we got up there, if that could come, if we come back up there today, okay? We got our daily bar indicator, not the greatest daily bar indicator. It's still a spin top, lots of indecision. So, and then we got our 9 and our 200 clumped together right here, going into noon. So maybe I want to see if it comes down. Will it respect this green zone, come back up? Will we get some buyers closing it above this yellow line, or are we going to kind of break down similar to how gold broke that green zone, and maybe will it come back up at this hourly white line? Okay, so we'll leave US 30 right here for now. We'll go back and check gold. Okay, so gold, it did break down to that 200 EMA just above it and came right back up. It closed below that red zone. We open now at noon with a bullish ignited strong 5-minute candle trading again inside this zone. Will we close with volume in here? Will we close with volume above there? Will the sellers reject this thing back down? Time will tell. We got to wait for this 5-minute candle to close. While I'm waiting for trades to develop, I just continue to extend. No, I don't want to change that. I want this thing. Just move these things slightly to the right. And if this body of bullish volume can close again above here, that zone again, we'll just invert it green, and maybe it might catch some higher low wicks and become support again, okay? And and we'll also watch US 30, and I'll get to NASDAQ in just a few moments. So let's just see what we got at the top of the hour at noon with gold. Will we close back above here? Will it attempt to break for a new high? This is a pretty powerful candle, and it is the new hourly open at noon. So there's a lot of accumulation on gold, both sides. You got buyers that are buying, sellers that are selling, buyers that are buying. Eventually, this volume will get redistributed out of this zone that we're in. It could either be the buyers or the sellers, depends on who accumulates more and who can create either new highs or who can create new lows in the market. We'll figure it out. But so far, buyers are still building. Okay, they're there. They got a higher lows there. They got a higher low there. It's just they're failing to create some new highs. And sellers are there as well. They've got lower highs, and they haven't created any new lower lows. So we're in this pennant where it's going up, it's going down, it's going up, it's going down. But it's going to come down to the follow through at the close of these candles. So here we've got a beautiful bullish candle, but we've seen a lot of them throughout this. And then at the end is when the sellers come in and push it right back down and we lose our momentum. So hopefully with this one, maybe we can break and create some new highs, trade back into this larger red zone and close near the high. And then we can figure out where 50% of that candle is in case we do pull back. Sellers are there to pull it. And then we can build off of that candle and continue to break out of here. But it's rearing its ugly pattern where it comes up and then near the end of the candle, sellers are there pushing it right back down. So we've seen this entire call. Okay, so I'm not surprised by this. Samuel, you close oil with 20% runner. Congratulations, nice. Okay, guys, so we have a nice, strong, bullish candle. Okay, we want to break those highs. With this volume, we should be able to break those highs. It will be demoralizing if we see a triple equal high up there. And it's shaped like that where my dotted lines are right at those wicks. So, okay. There, at least we broke for a new high. Okay, so now it's just relative to where we're going to close. Okay, so if we can close above this, beautiful, then we'll flip that. Okay, I'm going to assume that this one is holding. Okay, we got an ignited bullish bar with a short wick. Okay, so can we get a little higher move? Okay, so that held down there, that inverted block. They did break it down, but we have a nice, strong, solid bullish candle. It closed above, notice this bigger red zone. So, you know, just going through the motions. Now that red zone could technically be a good pullback zone of demand. Okay, we opened, ignited. So all we got to do is kind of push that wick, and we could fill up to these wicks right up here to 3,345.55. Okay, and then we can start to decrease risk soon. That move right there up to there's 20 pips. Okay, not necessarily what we were looking for. Maybe we're looking to fill up to there. That could be about 30 pips to get up to fill these wicks right over here. I'll place a red line so you guys know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at right over here to fill this wick and that wick. If it can get up there. If it starts moving up 30 pips, then maybe I'll start to reduce my risk in the trade. Maybe get it below this block. That's significantly reducing my risk from this block to that block. And then if it starts to move through here, get up that 40 pips, then ultimately maybe go to a break even and start to scale something out of there. But let's see what happens, okay? So we moved out of this kind of this area right here. So I'm just going to clean up, tidy up my chart here. It could definitely come back down in here. Where's about 50% of that big bullish candle that we just had, okay? Part of our job is to identify 50% of that. So there's where we opened, there's where we closed. Look at where it is. It's right at the 50% is the bottom. It's kind of like right where we bought in, well, where I bought in, and my zone a little bit above, a little bit below that candle. If it does come in there, I know it's a lot of green boxes, guys, but I just want, I'll help you guys focus on, if it does come in here, what zone I'm looking at, okay? I know it's a lot of things going on in here, but when you start to build a green block, and another green block, you are on the side with the buyers. So it's perfect that we're in a buy. But if it pulls back, we could pull back where there's a lot of buyers, okay? Back into that candle that started this whole thing. Okay, so now we're filling. There we go. Let's see if we can fill back up to that red line, get about 30 pips, and maybe break for a new high. Ultimately, that white line up there, that's hourly resistance. Okay, so if you go to your hourly candles right now, this is what we got. We're buying this. We are in buys on this hourly candle. So it's very powerful right now, but you see it just opened 8 minutes ago at noon. This is the momentum switch. So we kind of have like this bullish bar. We had that inside consolidation, and we were bought in that candle, but thankfully the noon candle opened, ignited, and continued to push up to the upside. So that's that where I have that white line at that body at 8 a.m. and the Wall Street's open at 9 a.m. If we continue to break that white line, we could fill up to, I would say, maybe 50% right there. So I'm just placing a red line right there on that bearish candle of yesterday at 10 a.m. So that would be 3,348.50 cents, and we're not too far away from our high of the day at 3,351. Okay, so just going back to the 5-minute candles, we are breaking now above there. Okay, so we're pushing. Please, guys, manage the trade. We're up close to 40 pips right now. Okay, so this is when you can reduce your risk. Maybe bring it below that green zone right there, that green zone, or you could go to a break even. That's completely up to you. You could also scale out some profit. That's entirely up to you, okay? And then our next target could be, again, that red line where I got off of that hourly candle, but there it is on the 5 minutes. I can see it was exactly at 8:55 a.m. Eastern, 5 minutes prior going into Wall Street, okay? So we got our first bar that closed above all of these wicks, and it started at noon, and 12:05 we got the momentum continuing to drive, okay? So we're up 40 plus pips right now. That's about 45. I'm gonna go to a break even now, up 45 pips. That's good enough. And I'm also gonna take out 80% up here, okay? So I'm taking 80% at 45 pips, and the remaining 20% is at a break even, okay? So hopefully I verbally stated that to everybody, and the market moved in our direction, okay? It could have been ugly. It could have got bearish down there and we would have got stopped out. But in this situation, we held our bullish bias. We saw how it was building. We got the follow through at noon, closing above, and we got continuations now. So you see how that red line now, where it was that wick right there at 9:25 and 9:30, you see how now 50% of that volume is above us, and if we do retrace back, if the sellers push it down, that red line could act as support now. That was resistance going forward, resistance back there, but we do have volume closed above it now, so it could be support going forward, okay? Guys, did I explain that properly to you guys? Everybody understood that I'm at 20% break even and I scaled out 80% up there at 45 pips. It's just the scalp, just like an intraday trade. And you guys can manage it yourselves. Okay? Now, see how it came down. Look at where it, okay, so you know that white line. That white line is there for a reason, right? I went to the hourly and I saw those hourly bodies right there. And you saw how we kind of poked our head and it closed at the white line. Again, we came up and now it's pushing down. So that white line was from right here. That hourly body that closed at 8 a.m. and how we opened at 9 a.m. So we came right up to that. That's why I said, guys, I'm closing out 45 pips right to that white line. That's a target. You know, I want to hold more, and I want more, and I want more. I want this gold trade to go to the daily high and continue to drive up to here. But sometimes that's not necessarily always the case. So you gotta trade according to a plan. I was looking to break this. This is a 5-minute line, but when I got to my white line, it's an hourly line. It holds more weight than just a 5-minute candle. Okay, so that's why I was very disciplined right there when it got up there, taking stop loss to break even and scaling out 80%. It could definitely continue to drive up. Absolutely. That's why I still have 20% invested in a runner. Okay, and if it continues to go, perfect. I could also maybe look to buy a pullback if I want to enter again inside here. You know, like if it comes all the way back down to where we entered, now we could have a strong depth of market building in there. My runner would get tapped out, but I could maybe possibly get back in if I continue with the gold bias, gold bullish bias. Could get pullback entry in there. Okay, US 30. Sorry, guys. US 30. Okay, so you see it came all the way back down to our green block right here, which I had from 50% of this 9:30 a.m. Eastern candle, so that's that red line, and then I just went up to that body and created a green box. So we pulled back down into it. The buyers are pushing up, they're getting rejected back down. They're coming back up, they're getting rejected back down. Maybe it needs to consolidate here, how similar to how gold was. Maybe we might get a next leg pushing back up. However, sellers could break this and come back down to the low of the day. Okay. Still watching US 30 for the time being, but also we're invested in a trade on gold. So let's just check this out. Okay, so you see that red line that we had from that wick, you know, it broke, and it's where the volume will close, the follow through. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds to go. Let's watch where the volume will close. Okay, on YouTube, guys, if you wouldn't mind leaving us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications, so that you can join us live, learn how to trade, hopefully make some money, and just have some fun. Okay, so it came down. It's a retracement at the hourly, okay, but it came down. We got a higher low, pushing it right back up. Will the volume close above that white line? Can we build off of it? Will we continue to drive? Where will the volume close? We'll figure it out in the next 40 seconds. And guys, I apologize for being MIA for a couple days. I had some issues, some health issues, kidney stones, and if you've ever had those, they are painful. They are painful. It's probably the most pain I've ever suffered in my life. Never had them before, so it was something completely new. I woke up that morning getting ready to stream, and I just couldn't move my lower back. I'm like, what? I didn't work out. I didn't do anything to my lower back. And then I just, what the hell is going on here? So figured it out, went to the doctor, did a little testing, and figured out some kidney stones. Okay, so look, guys, it closed right there, okay? And then look at opening bullish ignited. So when you got the momentum with you, you can build off of the momentum. So it opened bullish ignited. It's like when you're selling and it's opening, the candle is opening up bearish ignited and pushing down. So this is showing us it's a strong open, okay, off of that rejection wick. It still closed with bearish volume right below that hourly resistance, but we did open bullish. They did push it up. Technically, it did create a higher high above that wick, but the sellers are pushing it down. This could be maybe like a bull flag right here. You got 3 bodies of volume, like kind of right there. I'm gonna trap it right now. Those 3 bodies, and let's see if it will break out as a bullish flag. I could bring it down just a little lower to that red line, but I want you guys to see when that bullish ignited candle opens to show you if it does hold, we could continue to break out of here as a 3-bar bullish play, bullish flag. Okay, and then, sorry, what is that, Amir? 15-minute small gap, that's how ignited it was? Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Okay, so you guys see, like, just looking at this, it came down, came back up. That was that red box. So on those 15-minute candles, that was that choppiness on the 5 minutes. It was a slight pullback. But look at noon, time and place. 12 p.m. Eastern, beautiful bullish leg. So buyers were accumulating. They squeezed it out. That's what I was talking about. Above that red box were a lot of stop losses on sellers. So it just filled that imbalance rather nicely. Could continue to build off of this. But notice we haven't retested back this original zone. Like on our 5 minutes, it was this zone that was red with all of these wicks. We closed above it. Notice how we haven't came back to retest this. It might at a later time, but right now we might have still bullish momentum that still wants to drive. There we go. So see how it's kind of just consolidated, stalled in there and broke for that new high. There we go. So now we're running 50. There it could get up to 60 pips, up to that 50% of there. We're not too far off of our high of the day. So let's just acknowledge where our high of the day is right there. And then there was 5-minute rejections right there at 8:50 and at 8:55 prior going into 9 a.m. So what I do is just, there's a zone. I can see it was red there, wick rejected there, got rejected there, bearish ignited candle. So if we do retrace all the way back up to there, got to know that at that high of the day, it's a red block right there. But almost 60 pips right up to there. So I got 20% running. I don't know what you guys got, but let's see if we can continue build with this. That would be another big target, that red line. Are we going to close above it? Are we going to close below it? Will they push this thing back down? We do have a little bit of a flag zone here. But you see how you can figure out the body. Like right there was a body. That inside bearish bar told me exactly how big to make that zone. Samuel, you're still in gold, 100%. Nice. Good job. I hope we get to that high of the day, Samuel, and maybe we can break out. But again, guys, if there's pullbacks, okay, just so you guys are aware, if it does pull back, we haven't tested these zones yet, and that's where could be strong buyers in there again, and that's where it could get that next big push to maybe break the high of the day if we can't do it with our leg right now, okay? So just keep that in mind for after the call. I've been doing that, Jeremiah. Thank you. Detox your kidney. Use a holistic remedy. I'm fasting on apples. I've been eating a shit ton of apples the last couple days. That's all I'm eating is apples. They have a lot of fiber in them. I guess I got to step up my fiber. I don't know. It's just part of aging, guys. An apple a day keeps a kidney stone away. Keelan, I like that. I think it's just with age. But I didn't expect it. It just came out of nowhere, and I didn't even know what was wrong. Yeah, lots of water. A lot of water. I'm drinking water and Gatorade. Do I eat processed food? Not much of it, no. I try and eat healthy, stay healthy. Okay, guys, so notice, again, we got another bullish ignited bar, okay? So it came up, it got rejected, closed with good volume right above those wicks. So this is how I trade, guys. I just stay with one security, continue to watch what it's doing, and it is a bullish ignited bar that could continue to fill that wick and break for a new high. And you are part of a technical uptrend, making higher highs and higher lows. And we got the big move that started right at noon, right at 12 p.m. So sometimes, I always say I don't like being in a trade prior to an hourly open, but sometimes, it's building and you're in the trade and it works out in a situation like this. So there's some times where it opens at, you're in a buy, noon opens, and it's a bearish ignited candle coming down, and they switch the momentum. But I think in the depth of market, we were building rather nicely, and still holding nicely. You could draw, like right now, a parallel channel from like where, right there, kind of connect these dots right in there. Okay, so you see how I connected this parallel channel from right here, from that low, I got kind of that resistance, that resistance. So this is our parallel channel. If we pull back into that dotted line, we're right back in that bullish flag right there. If we do come all the way back down to the bottom of the channel, look at where we're in. We're in our big green zone, okay, where we entered the trade. That's where I was saying big buyers could be coming back in there that have missed this move, right? You know, we were in this because we entered early, but there might be traders that want to buy now, but they don't want to buy the highs. So they're positioning all their pending orders right in here. And you see if it pulls back in there, those are where those pending buyers are waiting. And it complements our parallel channel. That could be the bottom of the channel, gets that support, gets those big buyers, and then we continue to the dotted line, maybe breaking the high of the day and continue to the top of this channel, okay? So that's what I would do, like later on today. Right click inside here, right around somewhere 3,343 or 44. Go right in the middle if you want, 3,343.50 cents. Place an alert in there. And I've already got an alert in there, so I don't want to edit. But if it comes down in there, I could get alerted later this afternoon for maybe another possible pullback buy and continue trading with this trend, right? And that's how you can wait patiently for a trade to come to you without buying the highs and things like that. Yeah, Mike, I agree with you. I need more pee breaks while I'm streaming. Not good to hold it. I know. I think maybe that's what caused it. Remember last week when I was holding it for like 3-4 hours, we were in a trade? Maybe that's what caused it. I'm serious, guys. That's why I'm looking to make a custom urinal right under this table without you guys even knowing. No, I'm joking about that. But absolutely, guys. If you see that we're going to take a little bit more breaks, it's because we got to. I drink a lot of coffee and energy drinks and liquids, and I got to go to the washroom. Maybe that's what caused it. You're absolutely correct, Mike. It was kind of right after that. Okay, guys, so just looking at US 30, again, just kind of consolidating here, low volume. Maybe I would wait for US 30 to build a little bit. Nikos, 25 pips today. Absolutely, that's amazing. Good job for you. 25 pips, guys, it's not bad. Some professional traders, I'll be honest with you, have a 30 to 50 pip daily goal. Okay, 30 to 50. I know some of you guys are getting 200, 300, 500 pips a day, but most professional traders aim for 30 to 50 pips a day. They do it with, like you guys know, a little bit larger sizing, maybe a standard size, and that's still making 300, 500 US dollars per day, which is not bad. Not bad income. Kyle, nice. You got 49 pips on that gold trade. Fantastic. Amazing. Franco, Chanca Piedra, the Spanish store, Peruvian herb. Okay, maybe I got to get some herbs. Maybe I'm smoking. I smoke too much herb. Maybe I gotta get the other ones. Oh, Jeremiah, I didn't know that. The energy drinks did it. Those drinks are common with people with kidney stones. See, you guys are helping me learn a lot about this stuff. But guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. 12:30. It was perfect. I just wanted to test the YouTube, make sure we never froze today. So it's good. Thank you guys for everyone joining on YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Everyone on Zoom. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Okay. I hope you guys grab some pips and we got some runners running. Just keep in mind if there's a pullback buy in here, keep an eye on this zone. We'll be back tomorrow, guys. Just looking at our schedule, if you visit our website right over here. I know it's been crazy last couple weeks. I had to renovate this room, then I had a little health complication last few days, but hopefully we'll get everything sorted and we're right back on schedule. So for tomorrow, guys, I'll be back 5 a.m., 7:45, and then Dave will take over at 8 a.m. And remember, it's NFP. And then this one I haven't updated, but Friday, U.S. stock market is closed. Maybe we change this time from 6 a.m. and we can go till 9, okay? And then that way we can watch gold, we can watch US 30, NASDAQ, or crude oil trading prior to 9:30. And then we call it a day at 9, okay? Yeah, tomorrow is NFP, not Friday. Friday is, I'm just changing this time because the Wall Street is closed. So there's no point in staying till 10 a.m. We'll come a little earlier with good trading volume right at 6 a.m. So guys, just for Friday, I'll update it on the website, but just for now, 6 a.m., expect 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Maybe we'll stay 9:30, 10, whatever, but we'll start it at 6 a.m. And then tomorrow, 5 a.m., 7:45, and then Dave will pick up after 8 a.m. right over here, okay? And guys, I had a great time. If you want to join the team, join us at stocksnipertrading.com. There is promotions, lots of education, great community in the Discord, and hopefully you guys had some fun. We learned something. As long as I know that the YouTube channel didn't freeze on us, so that's good too. And I hope we came in, we caught a trade, it worked out for us. So just do something, guys, you know, manage your risk by always going to a break even while you're in profit. That helps keeps your emotions in check. You have no capital at risk. When it moves up a certain percentage or pips or at a location, I scaled out at that hourly area, the white line, took out 80%, my 80-20 rule, and I got 20% running with a break even. So hopefully it continues to move up. Hopefully it continues to build. Might also allow for a pullback entry at this zone that was red for our entire call, and then at noon it flipped with volume above and still has not been retested. So if you're looking to get in a gold buy and you haven't already, maybe keep an eye on this area by adding maybe an alert down there, or just keep your eyes on there, okay? Yes, Samuel, water is my friend. I know. I want to go grab some water and go to the washroom, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And have a great day today. Again, happy Canada Day to all our fellow Canadians out there. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.
Hey guys, good morning, welcome to the live session of Stock Sniper Trading. My name is Dave, guys, my partner is Ron. Let's get down to business here, guys.
In on US 30, sell, okay? I'm jumping in. Guys, that's a 100 pip drop. Yes, we caught it. Hey, guys, 200 pips, please, secure.